And of course I wanted to share this, but because I decided to fast from social media, it was very hard for me not to do it. I felt I needed to connect with the online world and share this. What was happening? What were people doing? Where people were eating? I needed to connect too. So it's been about 20 days since I've decided to turn off Facebook and Instagram and start turning to my in-person family and friends. Okay, I have to tell you, seriously, it was hard for the first couple of weeks. And I still have this inkling of feeling like I'm missing out, having FOMO of what's happening in social media, and not really knowing what's going on in the world around me. So I have a little bit of FOMO with that. But when I think about what I exchanged it for, and I'm going to share that with you, it's so much worth it for me. So having to also manage jumping onto my business accounts to engage with my Facebook groups. Some of you are a part of my free community, and some of you listening are current students of the Talk to Your Teen Girl framework. And by the way, if you've been listening and have not jumped on to that framework, I invite you to go do that. It's talktoyourteengirl.com. So go do that. And why haven't you? It's going to help you with your communication with your daughter, and just be aware of a lot of things that can quickly pass you by. What I've really realized doing the social media fast, how much I've been missing out on because of that, because I waited to just, put myself on the phone. So coming up with a structure and plan and treat my mom groups and accounts as part of my work has helped me. So how did I deal with having to jump on social media, knowing that I still serve you out there on social media? So I had to really have a structured plan and be able to go on there through my desktop to be able to interact. It was the only way I could socialize with you, right? So believe me, if there was another option to meet in person, I'm all for it, right? But that's the beauty of social media, is having intentional communities like my free mom group that bring people together in value. So now, Mama, again, if you are probably wondering, what? She has a group? Yes, I do. It's free, full of moms of teenage daughters and tween daughters. It's a community specifically for you. And if you want to be a part of that, you just head on over to raisingherconfidently.com and join this group for free. So plenty of moms are also raising adolescent girls there. So I invite you to come join. Okay, back to my update. I digressed. During this time of what seemed like isolation from my social media fast, I really have learned 3 things about myself. This is my midway checkpoint of my social media fast with you. Come join me. If you are frustrated with how to get your teenage daughter to open up to you because all you want is to connect with her as you once did, you're in the right place. Hey, I'm Jeannie Baldomero, a former rebellious teen, now mom of 3 young adults, educator, and the mom mentor, equipping you to create open communication with your girl so she can come to you about anything, even if she's scared. So grab your oat milk latte, breathe, and let's do this together. Okay, 3 things I've learned about myself during this fast so far is that not having the phone and relying on that, I've actually gained some freedom and space that I needed. I realized that I needed freedom and space. I struggled with not having to check my accounts, the mindless habit of reaching for my phone, but it was lonely. It felt lonely to not be able to connect in air quotes in that way. My decision to get off the phone was really my decision. There were times where I just sat there staring at the top of people's heads as they, as their heads were down on their phones. The funny thing, eventually my husband had put his phone down and started enjoying full shows with me during our time together. I think me talking out with him about how funny it felt to kind of just sit around and look up and observe and how lonely it was for me. as well as enjoying a movie, laughing. And I think my husband realized that he had missed a funny part that we could have shared together. And so I've noticed that he too puts his phone down while we're watching a movie or a show. We were both recently at a baby shower celebrating our niece's soon-to-be mama. She's going to become a mama. And I recognize being off my phone, not on social media, I had more opportunities to know when help was needed. And I jumped in. I was able to really talk to relatives that I don't readily talk to because we're so far apart from each other. We're not from the same state and city. And I was able to really talk and catch up with them while we were prepping food, and even brought games. Went out and bought games because I was thinking, how are we going to fill this space that I'm not on my phone? And so I bought some games. Of course, I love my games, and I taught our favorite games to my nephew and nieces. It was an evening where while the adults were talking in the kitchen, the kids, because we had bought the games a couple days before, were eager and wanted to really learn about this game that I hyped up so much about. So, and they too dropped their phones and traded their gaming controllers for a deck of cards. Time for me became more meaningful now that I fasted from social media. It's full because I resisted doing the easy thing and occupy my time with my phone. And funny thing is that even the kids, they also were willing to drop their electronics so that we can come together around the coffee table and learn this game. Yes, it was frustrating because they were just learning it. But as time went on, we started to laugh, cheer each other on. And really, I can explain this to you in detail because my mind felt like it was more focused and not preoccupied in the empty space of picking up my phone for a few seconds to check what's going on. Number 2, I realized that I did indeed have an addiction. I shared that in the first episode of where I decided to fast was I needed to get rid of this addiction. And being Midway, it confirmed that I did indeed have an addiction to my phone, to social media. The first 2 weeks were really a struggle, like I mentioned. My need for really scrolling, the aimless scrolling, the habit of scrolling, and posting my recent travels became a struggle. I was out of town. I was in Washington, one of my most favorite states. And of course I wanted to share this, but because I decided to fast from social media, it was very hard for me not to do it. I felt I needed to connect with the online world and share this. What was happening? What were people doing? Where people were eating? I needed to connect too, right? I needed to check to see what else are other people doing. If I'm here in Washington, what are other people doing? It's a natural thing, human nature thing for us wanting to connect, even if it means connecting through the phone. And that's beautiful. That's a beautiful thing about being human and being people, is that we crave connection, right? And that is why we have social media outlets. But I also realized that I'm trading connecting online with connecting with the people I'm actually sharing these moments with. Like I said, we were at a baby shower. I resist taking pictures and wanting to post them online. However, I continued to this was just last week. I felt this need to be in the know and wanting to share what I was doing and exchange it for what other people were doing. What I do with this time I had, right? Because it was really uncomfortable to have this space. I felt this emotional pull to open up my accounts because I literally depended on my phone to satisfy me with this connection to the world. And because I didn't have it, I didn't feel satisfied. And I felt like I needed to be satisfied by opening up my media accounts. Third thing I noticed about myself, I am starting to feel physically less connected to my phone because of that. Having to leave my phone in a different room, only relying on my Apple Watch to let me know if my immediate family was trying to get a hold of me. I have taken less photos, right? And decided to enjoy the moment without having to take just the right photo. Being in Washington and being on a social media fast allowed me to be in the moment and deliberately observe every nuance. And because I am deliberately observing every nuance, I think my brain, and I give less credit to my brain to really remember it, right? And that was enough. That was enough to just slow down, observe, deliberately insert these memories into my brain. And that was enough. It didn't have to be posted. It didn't have to have the perfect picture. We had taken a short walk, a hike off Deception Pass. If you know this place, it's a pretty popular destination. It's a bridge that connects the island we were staying on to the landmass of Washington State. And there was a trail that opened to this amazing beach down below. I mean, every ounce of me wanted to instantly just grab my phone and take the best picture, pose, the best sunlight, making sure that it was framed just right. But I resisted. I resisted taking that habit, doing the habit of taking my phone out and doing that at first moment, right? And instead decided to take in the amazing nature around me that surrounded me, that I probably otherwise would have ignored because I was busy trying to find the perfect angle of a photo so that I could share it. Instead, I decided to resist that. It allowed me to do that because I am on a fast. The various colors of the pebbles I was able to observe, the water that flowed right under the bridge, and right behind me and right behind us, the family that I was hiking with on this trail that we just came out of, were these gorgeous, majestic blanket wall or blanket tapestry of trees that just stood so high above us. I wouldn't have noticed that if I was busy trying to post on social media. Now, believe me, if you do this, please don't think I'm judging you. This is something that I was able to receive for myself. Believe me, like when I'm off the social media, am I going to post some great memories? I'm sure I will. But it's going to be a reminder for me to first take in what I have, be in the moment with who I'm with, and then go ahead and take that picture and share it on social media. I've learned to not to take for granted the experiences and memories I'm creating and who I'm doing that with. Just to add on to this precious moment of really observing these various colored pebbles, I was able to walk with my younger niece, and all we did was look down, looking for just the right colors, the vibrant colors for us to take home. Okay, now if you're one of those people like, you're not supposed to take pebbles off the beach, you know what? I love me some pebbles, and there are millions of them there. And I just wanted to take that as a memento, as one of my favorite moments with family that I don't really regularly get to see. So that was something I've learned about myself. And I'm sharing this because I'm checking in, holding myself accountable that I am still on a social media fast. And what have I learned about myself midway in is that I needed the freedom and space, and social media was blocking me from it. I indeed was addicted to filling that space that I so needed with social media. And that I physically started to feel less connected to my phone because I was addicted to it. This physical need for my phone is actually starting to leave me, to not be as a stronghold on me. So those are the things I've learned so far. What do you want to do with the things that I've shared with you? I want to challenge you to join me these last 20 days of my fast. I'm doing a 40-day fast, and I have 20 more days to go as you're listening to this. I want you to join me if you feel convicted to do so. What type of freedom would this bring to you if you did a social media fast? I want to invite you to choose to lay down your phone and stand up for your relationship with your girl. Be the first to make the choice and notice how those around you may just put their phones down too. Now, if that is something you are choosing to do today, I invite you to come back every Monday and Wednesday, where you'll find tips to communicate and connect with your teenage daughter, because you're going to have the space that you so needed to be able to do that. Bye for now. Hey friend, if this podcast inspired you or encouraged you or helped you in any way, I'd love for you to share it. You can screenshot this episode and share it in your stories on social media or text it to a friend who can use the support. It's the best way you can thank me. I want to let other mamas know they are not alone. I'd love to stay connected with you. You can find me at raisingherconfidently.com. Until next time, live full of grace, Jeannie.